So here, fraction 1 by 3 is shown here. And this shows the fraction 2 by 6. 1 by 3 can be called as 1/3, and 2 by 6 can be called as 2/6. 4 by 12 or 4/12 is an equivalent fraction of 1/3. 2/6 is an equivalent fraction of 1/3. So these are smaller units, smaller fractional units, and if we want to compose the whole thing into a larger fractional unit, we have to divide. So when you divide 2/6 by 2, you get a larger fractional unit, 1/3. So composing smaller fractional unit 2/10 into a larger fractional unit 1/5 by dividing 2/10 by 2. So the smaller fractional unit is composed into a larger fractional unit. One-fifth is an equivalent fraction of 2/10. 3/15 are composed to a larger unit, 1/5. 1/5 is an equivalent fraction for 3/15. These are some of the fractions that are equivalent. So here the fraction half is shown on a tape diagram, okay, on the top of a number line. So half means 1 by 2. So if you see here, the equivalent fraction 1 by 2 lies here, and the equivalent fraction 2 by 4 also lie in the same line. So half of 1 by 2 is 1 by 4. Here the number line is partitioned into 1 by 3, so this is 1 by 3. And the half of 1 by 3 is 1 by 6. So this is 1 by 6. So the number line here is partitioned into 1 by 8, and the half of 1 by 8, so this is 1 by 8, and the half of 1 by 8 is 1 by 12. So 4 by 8 is an equivalent fraction of 1 by 2, and 5 by 10 is an equivalent fraction of 1 by 2 as well. So the number line is partitioned into 1 by 4, and the half of 1 by 4 is 1 by 8. The fraction 11 by 8 has a hole in it. So this is the hole, 8 by 8, and there is a fraction 3 by 8 as other part. And so you have to learn all this. You have to learn this as well. Let us find out which one is bigger. 1/4. So this is 1/4, or 1/8. So this is 1/8, which is bigger. Yes, 1/4 is bigger than 1/8. So we have shown that as a sign. 1/4 is bigger. The alligator mouth should be open. Just imagine this is an alligator's mouth. The alligator's mouth should be open towards the bigger value number. So, since 1/4 is the bigger value, the alligator sign is open towards the bigger value. Half of 1/4 is 1/8. So now we'll check whether 2/3 is greater or 2/5 is greater. So this is the value of 2/3, and this is the value of 2/5. So which is which size is bigger? Obviously it's 2/3 is bigger, right? So we have to write 2/3. So make the alligator sign. Keep the mouth open towards the bigger value. So 2/3 is greater than 2/5. So here you have to remember that 14ths are greater than 15ths. So that is how we know that 3/7 are greater than 6/15. Okay. So 1/3/4 is shown as a tape diagram here. So for this one, we have the whole one here, and for the 3/4 is, I've shown it in the tape diagram. This is the value of 3/4. And for this mixed number, the one tape diagram is shown here, and the fraction 8/12 is shown here. The number line is partitioned into 1/6, so this is 1/6. And half of 1/6 is 1/12. We know that 3/12 is a smaller value because it is closer to 0. And we also know that 2/6 is a bigger value because it is far away from 0. So 3/12 is smaller value than 2/6. So here is an area model that shows how to make equivalent fractions. So for 4/5, I have drawn 4 columns. 1, I've colored 4 columns. 2, 3, 4. I've colored 4 columns, but the total number of columns is 5. Okay, to represent 4/5. And after that, to make it into an equivalent fractions, we are multiplying by 7, right? So for that, I made 7 partitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 partitions. So that is how I got 28/35. That means if you see in this area model, there should be 28 green squares, and the total number of squares should be 35. Okay, let's see the next area model. 6/7. I've shown it here. So in here, for that 6, I have colored 6 columns. 4, 5, 6 columns. And for the denominator 7, the total number of columns, if you see, there are totally 7 columns here. Out of the 7 columns, I have colored 6 columns blue. So that is how I represent the fraction 6 by 7. After this, to make it into an equivalent fractions, since we multiply by 5, so I have partitioned this into 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rows. So this is how we get 30 by 35. If you see here in this area model, there will be 30 blue squares and the total number of squares is 35. So that is how we got 30 by 35, which is an equivalent fraction of 6 by 7.